Ethan had never thought life could fall apart so quickly. Just 6 months earlier, everything felt normal. Noisy dinners, weekend rides, and the sound of his dad laughing in the garage while working on his beloved Harley Davidson. It was a 1979 Harley lowrider, a rare model, black with chrome details, and a rumbling engine that could be heard from streets away. It wasn't just a motorcycle. It was memories. It was father and son. It was their bond on wheels. But life has a cruel way of changing without warning. Ethan's father had passed away after a sudden heart condition, leaving behind a hole in Ethan's chest and a mountain of bills he had no way of paying. Hospital costs, rent overdue, loans piling up. One by one, the walls closed in. Every night, Ethan walked into their garage, stared at the Harley, and heard his dad's voice echoing, "Son, one day, this bike will be yours, not to sell, but to ride." That sentence haunted him, because now, selling it felt like betraying his father, but keeping it meant drowning in debt. He sat on the cold metal stool in the garage, staring at the bike under the dim yellow light. Dust covered the fuel tank. The old leather seat still smelled like his father's cologne. His fingers ran across the handlebar, trembling. "Dad, I'm sorry," he whispered. "I don't have a choice." After 3 nights of sleepless thinking, Ethan finally took a deep breath, snapped a picture of the bike, and posted it on an online marketplace. His heart sank as he typed the words, "For SALE, vintage Harley Davidson, price, $12,000. The moment he clicked post, guilt punched him in the stomach. He felt like he had just erased a piece of his father. Minutes turned into hours. Hours turned into a long, painful night. He kept checking his phone, hoping nobody would message, and at the same time hoping someone would, because he needed the money that badly. And the next morning, his phone buzzed with a notification, a message request from someone with a verified badge, someone with millions of followers, someone he never expected. The name on the screen stopped his breathing. Ozzy Osbourne. Ethan sat at his kitchen table late at night, staring at the dim glow of his old laptop screen. The Harley Davidson listing had been up for nearly 48 hours, yet only a handful of lowball offers had come in. Most people didn't understand the value. They saw a bike. Ethan saw his father's fingerprints on every bolt. He had just decided to shut the laptop and go to bed when a notification popped up. Message from Ozzy Osbourne official. Ethan blinked, rubbed his eyes, laughed nervously. No way. Definitely a scam. He hovered the mouse over the notification, hesitating. His cursor shook slightly from exhaustion and frustration. After a few seconds, curiosity won. He clicked the message open. "Hey mate, saw the Harley? Need to talk." That was it. Short, direct, too real to be a bot, too wild to be believable. Ethan clicked the profile. Blue checkmark. 15 million followers. Hundreds of posts, concerts, interviews, family photos, fan interactions. This was the real deal. Ethan felt his heart thud against his ribs. No, this can't be happening. He reread the message at least 6 times. The idea of Ozzy Osbourne personally messaging him about his father's bike felt like a fantasy pulled out of nowhere. Why on earth would a global rock legend be scrolling through random classified ads? Before he could overthink it, another message arrived. Still available. Ethan swallowed hard and typed slowly. "Yes, it's available. Are you sure this is really Ozzy Osbourne? Ozzy Osbourne?" The reply came instantly. "Yeah, mate. Promise I'm not some idiot pretending to be myself." A laughing emoji followed. Ethan stared at the screen, adrenaline building. He typed again. "May I ask, why this Harley?" But instead of an explanation, Ozzy sent something unexpected. "Where are you from, kid?" Ethan answered, hands trembling. "Los Angeles, you." Ozzy responded. "Same city. Good. Makes this easier." Ethan felt a chill of disbelief. Ozzy Osbourne lived in the same city as him. Suddenly, this wasn't some faraway celebrity interaction. This was real, immediate, personal. Before Ethan could type anything else, Ozzy sent a voice note. Ethan hesitated, then pressed play. Ozzy's unmistakable voice filled the quiet kitchen. "Saw your post, mate. That bike means more to me than you think. I want to see it. Not tomorrow, tonight." Ethan's chest tightened. Tonight. Why the urgency? What meaning could his father's bike hold for a global rock icon? His phone buzzed again. "Send me your location. I'll come to you." Ethan shot up from his chair, pacing back and forth. This was insane. Absolutely insane. He typed back. "Are you sure?" "It's late." Ozzy replied in seconds. "Life's short, kid. I don't wait for sunrise to chase the things that matter." Ethan froze. There was something deeper behind those words. Something heavy, emotional, almost desperate. Engagement break included naturally. Before we continue, tell me in the comments, which country or city are you watching this from? USA, UK, Philippines, India, Pakistan, or somewhere else? Ethan took a deep breath. His father's Harley was about to bring him face to face with one of the greatest rock legends of all time. And something told him, Ozzy wasn't coming just to buy a bike. He was coming because that Harley carried a story, one Ethan had never heard, and one Ozzy had never told. This was the twist that would change everything. Ethan arrived at the small motorcycle garage behind his apartment earlier than planned. The Harley sat in the center of the room, polished so clean, it almost looked new. He had spent the whole night restoring the chrome, tightening bolts, wiping dust off the seat his father used to sit on. Every touch felt like saying goodbye. He kept replaying the same thought in his head. Dad, I'm sorry. I can't keep fighting these bills anymore. The soft rumble of an engine outside pulled him from his thoughts. When he opened the garage door, he froze. There, stepping out of a black SUV, was Ozzy Osbourne. Long hair, dark glasses, cane in one hand, yet still carrying the unmistakable aura of a living legend. Ethan's breath hitched. He had seen Ozzy on album covers, in documentaries, on giant posters in his dad's room. But seeing him walk toward the garage, that felt unreal. Ozzy looked around slowly, absorbing the atmosphere. Then his eyes landed on the Harley. Something in his expression softened, almost like recognition mixed with nostalgia. You must be Ethan, Ozzy said, his voice gravelly but warm. Ethan swallowed hard. Why yes sir, it's really you, Ozzy chuckled. Last time I checked, yeah. They walked toward the Harley together, and for a moment, Ozzy didn't speak. He just stared at the bike, running a hand along the tank. His fingers trembled slightly. This, Ozzy whispered, brings back memories I haven't visited in a long time. Ethan lifted his eyebrows. You had one like it? Ozzy nodded slowly. Back when I was young, before the lights, before the madness, before the world decided I was famous. He tapped the seat gently. This was the kind of machine that made a kid from Birmingham feel like he could outrun his own demons. Ethan didn't know what to say. He wasn't expecting the Prince of Darkness to sound. Human Ozzy took a slow breath, steadying himself. Your listing said the bike belonged to your dad. The kind of man who talked more with his hands than his mouth. But when he smiled, the whole room felt warmer. He brushed a finger along the handlebars. He used to say, this bike is freedom, son. When the world gets too heavy, ride. Ozzy's lips curled into a soft grin. Sounds like a good man. He was. Ethan whispered. And this bike, it's all I have left of him. Ozzy looked at Ethan for a long moment, not as a rock icon, but as a father himself. There was a shared understanding in that silence. Ozzy noticed. You're torn, he said softly. Ethan exhaled shakily. I don't want to lose the last part of him. Silence again. Then Ozzy placed a hand on Ethan's shoulder. Maybe this isn't about selling a bike, he said. Maybe it's about finding out what your father really left you. The words hung in the air like a chord that hadn't resolved yet. Ethan looked at the Harley, he looked at Ozzy, then back at the Harley, and for the first time since listing the bike online, he wasn't sure if he could go through with it. A son doing what he must to survive. Your old man would understand that. Ethan looked down, guilt pressing heavily on his chest, but he'd also want you to be happy, Ozzy added, not hurting, not stuck. Their eyes met, a rock legend and a young man, both connected by the same invisible thread of loss. Ozzy smirked faintly. Funny thing is, people think I came to buy a bike, but I think I came to meet you. Ethan frowned. Me, Ozzy nodded. The kind of silence that makes your stomach twist. Ethan immediately panicked inside. Oh no, I ruined it. He thinks it's too much. He's going to walk away. He rushed to speak. I know it might be more than you expected, but I swear, I'm not trying to take advantage. This was my dad's. He stored every bolt himself. And Ozzy held up one hand, shutting Ethan up without saying a word. Then he grinned, a slow, mischievous rockstar grin. Kid, he said, lowering his voice. 8,000 is an insult. Ethan's heart dropped. Insult. Ethan's voice cracked. Mr. Osbourne, this can't be right. This is Ozzy, noticing the emotion in Ethan's eyes, walked over to the bike and ran his fingers gently along the handlebar, almost reverently, as if touching something sacred. You know, Ozzy said softly, when I was your age, I had a Harley just like this. Saved every penny to buy it. It was my escape, my freedom, the one thing in my life nobody could take away. He paused. But when times got tough, I had to let it go too, and I regretted it for decades. Ethan listened, heart pounding. Ozzy turned around, leather jacket brushing against the tank, and said, your dad built this with you, and I can see he built you right too. You're loyal, honest, strong, a good kid. Ethan blinked hard, trying not to cry. Then completely unexpectedly Ozzy reached into his pocket, pulled out the bike's keys, and pressed them back into Ethan's hand. Ethan stared at the keys, stunned. What? No, I sold it to you. It's yours now. Ozzy shook his head. I didn't buy it to own it, he said firmly. Ozzy smiled, a real, warm, human smile, not the wild rock star grin the world knew. Because someone once helped me when I had nothing, and I promised myself I'd return the favor someday. Looks like today's that day. Ethan couldn't hold back anymore. Tears streamed down his face as he stepped forward and hugged Ozzy, the legend he had admired since childhood, now standing before him not as a rock star, but as a guardian angel he never expected. Ozzy hugged him back, patting his shoulder. His social media inbox was overflowing. His friends were texting, bro, you're trending. Is that really Ozzy Osbourne in the video? Dude, you broke the internet. Ethan blinked hard, confused. until he opened a link someone sent him. A short shaky video clip recorded by a random bystander at the dealership was blowing up online. And in that 45-second clip, you could see everything. The moment Ozzy Osbourne hugged Ethan, the moment he pushed the Harley keys back into his hand, the moment he told him,